Whoa, man, what Funko Pop is gonna be the limited edition one right now? Hello, and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 170. It is the second day of the week, aka the Quadzilla workout. I am feeling pretty alright, nothing too crazy, a little bit tired, but nothing too crazy. There's still something in my eye, so having to deal with that all day was always fun, but it actually wasn't fun at all. It sucked. So, it is what it is, though. But to the main subject matter today, I wanted to talk about this because I wrote it down the other day and I was like, when am I going to get to talk about this? And it is today. Funko Pops. And why did Funko Pops even come up? I think it was because I was watching something about collecting and just collectors things, and I saw some Funko Pops. They also sell them at basically any store whatsoever at this point. They're quite ubiquitous when it comes to their sales in places. You can find them literally anywhere, so it is what it is. But the reason why I wanted to talk about it, because this will probably be the primer for another episode that I'll do about one specific topic, but I'll probably get into it in the voiceover a little bit. Just I want to touch upon it. I want to kiss it because I want to make that its own video. But Funko Pops are stupid. And I think most people understand that now. I don't think there are many Funko Pop enthusiasts anymore, but they still exist. And I think the entire idea of Funko Pops started off cool, and then it just devolved and degraded, and just it got to the point now where every time I see a wall full of Funko Pops, whether it be somebody's collection or in a store, specifically the ones in a store, I just imagine the amount of trash and landfill that they're going to become, and the probably metric shitloads of waste that this has created. But that's a whole other issue, generally speaking, of course, because that's more of an environmental thing and we waste a lot, which I will make an episode about, but that's something for a different day. For now, though, I just want to focus on Funko Pops, mostly because of who they target, why they target them, and how they've been so effective. So those are the three things that I want to talk about when it comes to this. But before I continue there, and I want to preface it with this: do I own Funko Pops? Yes. Do I have things that are Funko related but aren't Funko Pops? Yes, actually. The Bloodsport shirt that I got gifted to me by my brother is actually a Funko shirt, technically. So, that is an actual Funko-related thing, but it isn't a Funko Pop. A little bit of a difference, but I'm not going to say I don't own any, because I do own some. I believe I own 4 Funko Pops, possibly 5, but I own 4 that I remember for a fact, and they're all the Yu Yu Hakusho ones. I'm missing one, but that's a whole other story. But I collected them all. Why? Because I liked Yu Yu Hakusho. Did I take them out of the box? I took 3 out of the 4 out of the box. And I know that probably made some Funko Pop nerd out there squirm a little because I took them out of the box. But then again, I didn't want to have the fucking cardboard just sitting there. So that's how I am as a collector, per se. But that's a whole other story too when it comes to collecting things, because we'll touch to that too some other day whenever we get into the idea of collectors. But I might go into each individual one per se, because some have weird influences on my life somewhere, one way or the other. So that'll be for a different day. But for now, I want to say this: I own Funko Pops. I get it. I've been gotten by a few of them. I understand the general appeal of it. Oh, your favorite characters in a generalized, sanitized way that is stylized to our specific way, and it's a crossover. You're gonna like it. It's blank and blank, blank and blank, so it works out. You buy our stuff, you get another collectible. So I understand it from that aspect, and I've collected some. I can't even say like I haven't. All right. So everything else I say afterwards comes from somebody who's dipped their pinky toe within the realm. I'm not insane and haven't collected them, nor have I bought in a box to protect them. So I haven't gotten that far yet. That is something that is next level beyond my pay grade. So if you are there and you get offended by anything I say, tough tit. Good job. Good luck. Welcome to the real world. You're gonna get offended by everything. But the main thing is, I wanted to preface this entire like rant basically that I'm about to go off on, is that I get it. I understand it. And I personally get the entire collection aspect of it. I've done comic books, another episode. This one right here, I don't fundamentally understand to the point where why did it become so ubiquitous? And I don't get it. It's so much waste. There's so many things about it that's like, wow. There's like millions of these things now. There's probably like a bajillion lines that are going crazy, and then there's like the one of 12 because you went to San Diego Comic-Con in 2023 and you stood in line for 9 hours to get this one that happens to have one glow in the dark eye. You know, so those I understand in theory, but at what point do they just stop? Have we reached the climax? I don't think so, but then again, who fucking knows? I'm not keeping up with these things, but I hate them, and I hate how ugly they are. I realized it afterwards where I'm like, wow, I bought Yu Yu Hakusho like statues recently, and they were nice, and I was like, holy shit, they were relatively cheap, and they looked like them from the anime, and it made me realize I spent fucking like $15 on these Funko Pop ones, and they can't even stand up. What is this? What did I waste my money on? Why did I do that? Just because I got sold via the fucking licensing property that they happened to get at the time. That was literally it. And I'm like, fuck, I literally got sold. It is literally just a hunk of plastic that's useless, that can't even stand up, is only in one configuration. It doesn't even look cool. It just looks like stylized as a Funko Pop. So when we go inside, I'll probably go a little bit more off on all the things, including the collectability, all that other stuff, the next level stuff. And I'll say this before I go in there. If you do it, congratulations, good job. We all have our stupid hobbies. But I would love to know your reasoning behind your Funko Pop craze. I would love to know, because there's some legitimate reasons. Sometimes you get it's inherited. Maybe sometimes, you know, you had folks that had it. Maybe you're just a young kid who likes the way they look. There are some people that like that. Maybe they have a few. If you have a couple, that's fine. Whatever. I'm not gonna it's whatever, right? This is more for the collectors. I would love to just know more. Why? Where? What money? Where's the space? There's a lot of things like that I want to know about. So please, leave your comments down below. But with that being said, I will see you on the inside. Alright, so started this day off with squats, which were pretty good. It's been a while since this happened, but I wanted to get back to the main subject here, which is Funko Pops. I have a quite literal disdain for them. They are literally targeted for people that I do not like. I have been part of that crowd before, but that is the subject matter for a different day. I want to focus on Funko Pops themselves. Personally, who do they target? Well, they target literally everybody, because they have been able to get the licenses for every single popular culture thing imaginable. Anything from Seinfeld to Marvel to anime characters to, I think the strangest one I've seen is probably like, I want to say one-off characters or things that don't even make any sense. I'm pretty sure I've seen Oscar Mayer Wiener or Oscar Mayer Funko Pop, so it doesn't even matter. The reason why it's these things, these are the reasons why they target these people who are into any of these things, is because it's such a broad demographic that they can just target these people relentlessly. And most of the time, these people who end up buying these things or in a religious way are usually the ones that are consumers of all media with no real thought behind it, or they are ones that have weird attachments to the IPs and brands that they have collaborated with. So thus they are the consume next product and do not question it style of people. That's the main reason why it's been so efficient, is because so many people who get these things are the types to not really question, what am I looking at? Why is this valuable to me? Why am I going to care about this property becoming or being in the entire Funko Pop style? It's not even a great style, but yet I want to have it for some weird reason. There's only one of 12 that are glow-in-the-dark clear, and that makes it special for some godforsaken reason. I don't understand it, personally. I really don't like them for a lot of different reasons, but I feel like the biggest two, and I think most people can agree with this, honestly, is that, honestly, they are just a giant waste of space. I don't think that they are anything cool or anything great. The fact that you have to leave them in the box in order for them to have or retain their value is asinine and ridiculous. Obviously, there are things like that, like comic books or maybe some cards and things like that. Those I can kind of understand, but Funko Pop boxes aren't small. They aren't little things that you can just kind of put away somewhere or sliver off to the side. They don't even look that great displayed within the box, and then when they're outside the box, they're a hell of a half to stand because they don't care about the balancing act at all because they're supposed to be in the box. So it doesn't even matter if you want to just display them as is, because then most of the time they're on their side because their head is too fucking big. The amount of Funko Pops that I've seen in stores that are probably at this point decades old because they've been sitting there because nobody wants to buy a Eternals Funko Pop or a Shang-Chi Funko Pop that have been just sitting there collecting dust for years now, and they will never sell, and now it's just become trash that's going to fill up in a landfill somewhere. And then all of a sudden, future generations, maybe even 100 years from now, maybe when the aliens come down and or some other civilization takes over, they're going to find these Funko Pops because the plastic is never going to degrade, and they're going to be like, was this what humans used to look like? You know, and it astonishes me that people will still continue to buy this shit because it's just going to be all waste at the end of the day. You see these people who end up buying a shitload and then end up selling half the time because they end up realizing, oh, this was just a giant waste of money. And I really dislike that. There is a certain type of personality you kind of have to have when you consume this style of stuff, but that is for a different story for a different day. And we're back! Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed, none. Exercises skipped. We have one, which was the hip abduction machine, because each time I went up to it, it kept being used, which was very, very annoying, but it is what it is. So anyways, back to the main subject matter. I'll keep it short and sweet and to the point. The main reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I wanted this to be a primer. I will eventually get into the subject matter of the infantilism of adult people, aka man babies and or adult babies and all that other stuff. We will get into that, but I wanted to do this as a slight primer to it because this is a slight gateway to that entire subject matter, because it is its own thing that I will eventually talk about. But I wanted to talk about specifically Funko Pops because there's something almost baseline association there with those two things. It's almost as if it's like adult toys for baby adults or something like that. And yes, there is a collection aspect to it, which is, give or take, can be an adult thing, can be a children's thing. It all just depends, really. It's not necessarily evil to do something like that, and or bad per se. But there is something to be said about the Funko Pop in particular that just imbues the man-baby aesthetic, you know, the dilemma. You know, you think almost of either like teens, collectors, or man-babies who end up having those types of collections or Funko Pop all over the place. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow's episode. I don't think it will be, but I want to point back to this subject matter and then go from there, because eventually I will talk about it. It is something that is interesting to me and also very prevalent in today's modern age, but that will be talked about in a different day. With that being said, though, Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this entire subject, mostly Funko Pops if you have any. If you don't have any, tell me what you think in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I have a feeling I've probably pissed off enough Funko Pop people that I would like to say, hey, thank you for coming by. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Keep it heavy, stay safe, stay warm, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!